people tell me they would eat artichokes more if they just knew what to do with them. So I thought it'd be fun to take a few artichokes today and make a very simple dish with them so that you can eat artichokes more. The first thing we're gonna do is cook them. And so I have 2 artichokes. I have a pot of rapidly boiling water, and we're gonna cook the artichokes until they're done. So I'm gonna place them in now. And we're gonna just let these cook. The thing that you're looking for is that they become fork tender, and what that means is when they're done, you should be able to pierce the core of the artichoke with a fork, and it would go in easily without struggle. So we're gonna let these artichokes finish cooking, and I have some cooked artichokes here that we're gonna start to work with, and we're gonna finish the dish. So what I was explaining before about fork tenders, I can take this fork now, and right here where the core of the artichoke is, I can go ahead and push the fork in and see how the fork, there's no resistance. And so that means that the artichoke is done cooking. When these come out and there's no resistance, you want to let them cool so that they're easy to handle. And these have been cooled, so we're going to go ahead and prep them now. For this dish here, I'm going to take a couple of the leaves off that are sticking out, just so it's easier to manage. Okay. And then I'm going to take the artichoke here and just cut it down the center. When you cut it in half, you're going to see basically a cross section of the artichoke. And this part here, this part of the artichoke here, this is the heart. And this is the part here that we're going to need to clean up because that's not edible, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is start to pull those pieces out. If you feel them with your thumb, the pieces that are not edible are really coarse and thick. The pieces that are where you're going to want to work with and enjoy are the pieces that are more tender. So I'm going to just start pulling the center out, and it comes out. Because we cook the artichoke till it's fork tender, it should come out very easily. So here we are, we're pulling that part out. And you see how there's sort of a very pale color into a purplish hue. That's an indicator of where the parts are that you're going to want to take out. And now you'll see there's a little furry piece here. And all this furry part's going to need to come out too. Now you can use a spoon or you can use a paring knife to take it out. Just going to come here and you want to trim it out. And basically this is what you're going to want to work with. Now, a couple things. If you wanted to, and people do that, they use this and they fill it with crab fillings and things like that, and they bake it and you can serve them like this. Some people will take all of the leaves off and just use the heart in pasta dishes and in salads. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to take the artichokes, we're going to marinate them, and then we're going to grill them. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and clean up the rest of the artichokes, then we're going to come back and then we'll work on a marinade, and then we're going to do some grilling. So we've got all of our artichokes prepped, ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is make a dressing that we're going to marinate the artichokes in. So I have balsamic vinegar here, and I got some olive oils and things. So we'll go ahead and make the dressing. Balsamic is going to go in. And then we're going to put olive oil. Now I have, in this recipe, I'm using extra virgin and regular olive oil. And the reason I'm doing that is because sometimes when I'm cooking, extra virgin olive oil can tend to be rather overpowering. Very, it has very grassy notes and very strong, sometimes actually bitter. And so what I do is I use extra virgin olive oil and regular olive oil so that I can get that olive flavor in there. But I'm also controlling it so it's not overly heavy or it's like sometimes really overpowering. Now we have garlic that's going in here. We've got some salt. And then we're going to put some fresh cracked pepper in here. I'm going to lightly stir it to mix it together. I want to incorporate the flavors. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my artichokes in this bowl here. And I'm going to drizzle the dressing all over the artichoke. I'm putting the cut side up because the majority of the eating of the artichoke is going to be in this heart area. But I also want to get some of that flavor and from the dressing into the whole, into the leafy area so that flavor can go throughout. So I'm mixing my dressing here. We're going to go ahead and drizzle it all over the choke here. Getting some of those into the leaves. And now we're gonna let this marinate. You're gonna wanna, if you're doing this the day of, you're gonna wanna let this marinate for at least 2 hours so flavor can start to go in there, up to overnight. We're gonna let this sit a little bit, then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna grill these to get even more flavor going into the artichokes. So we'll be right back. So we've had these marinating for, you know, roughly 2 hours, and so now the flavor's kind of going in there. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna grill these. And now, the best way to do this is if you can do them outside on a, you know, on a wood burning or a charcoal grill. Second best would be to do it on a propane grill. But, you know, this is a dish I want you guys to be able to do and be like, I'm making this on a weekday when I just got home from work and I have, you know, a half an hour to cook something. So we're gonna do this on the stove here, but what I have is a grill plate, and it's a pan that has raised edges on it. So we're gonna essentially be grilling them indoors, and then we're gonna get some charring in here, get all the flavors, get some of the balsamic to caramelize in there, and get some really good flavor. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the best part, which is eat. So I have my pan smoking hot. It's lightly greased, and we're gonna put the artichokes on face down so that we can get some grilling going here. So we're gonna let these grill. I'm gonna grill all of these artichokes. We're gonna cook them here. They're really cooked. So what I'm doing is I'm charring them. I'm getting the flavor all to come together and to concentrate. We're gonna get some grill marks on them. We're gonna warm them through. Then we're gonna put them on a platter. And when we come back, you guys will see what they look like. We'll finish them up, make them pretty, and we'll enjoy some. So we have our 4 halves of artichokes grilled, and we have them on the platter here. Now what we want to do is, as usual, we want to take a little time and refresh things before we serve them. So I have a little bit of extra dressing that I'm going to just put a little bit on just to get some of that shine on there and get some flavor in there. Now, these can be served hot. They can also be served at room temperature. So, you know, if you're having a get together, you can make a bunch of these, then let them sit on a platter, and then as people come, they can enjoy. I also have some fresh basil. I find that basil does a really nice job of brightening up the dish and adding another dimension of flavor. So I have some leaves here that I just picked. And then we're gonna go ahead and do a fine chiffonade. And then we're going to take the basil, and then we're going to go ahead and sprinkle it on top of our artichokes here. And this is ready to go. So now the question comes up as to how do you eat this thing? And it's really very simple. You take one, you would put it on your plate here, and now the way we start typically is you start peeling off the outer layers, the outer leaves here, and as you peel them off, just on the bottom here, there's a little piece of meat. So you get it, and you bite that off, and you get to enjoy the flavors of the charring, the balsamic, garlic. Get a little piece of basil in there, super good. And then, as you peel these off, and you go and you eat these off. And by the way, you know, you can do them one at a time. And when I'm really hungry, I'll just take like 3 or 4. Bite into them, super awesome. And then you go through and you eat them all, and as you get deeper and deeper, you'll find that more of the leaf is edible. And you scrape that off until all the leaves are gone, and then you're just left with what is considered the heart. And I'll just show that to you real quick here. And this is the heart. And this entire piece here now becomes edible. So you can cut it up and you can eat that, or you can use it in salads, or you know, you can do a ton of different things with them. But this is the part that, you know, I want to make sure you guys get that, because I think a lot of people, they eat all of this, or they scrape them all off and they're like, that was good, and they move on, and then they don't eat the best part, which is the heart here. So this is how you eat the artichoke. You know, you might want to have a little bit extra balsamic on the side because people like to dip. Put some limes, some lemons on the side too. Let people get creative, have fun with this. But that's the dish, and now you know what to do with artichokes. So I hope to see you guys in the store buying 10, 15 at a time. For more recipes like this, visit us at foodland.com.
Bye.